Thanks again for attending our webinar on using your iPhone, iPad, and iTouch to collect water quality data. My name is Sean Minton. I'm a Territory Manager with Electronic Data Solutions, and today we're going to again be talking about a solution that is really unlike anything that you've ever seen, using a water quality sonde with your iPhone, your iPad, or your iTouch. Today's solution is called the Smart Troll, and I think you're really going to like it. We're going to see a demo of the solution a little bit later on in the webinar, so it's not just going to be slide after slide after slide. In terms of our company, Electronic Data Solutions, we've been in business now for 27 years. We have 22 employees covering 6 states in the western United States. I'm located in Sacramento, California. I cover most of the West Coast, but we also have representatives in Olympia, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Liberty, Utah, Missoula, Montana, Post Falls, Jerome, Idaho is where our home office is. That's located in southern Idaho. We're a small business owned by a husband and wife, and we're not looking for world domination at this point, but we do have a pretty good handle on the West Coast. In terms of some of our vertical markets, we don't just do water quality sondes and environmental. We've got our hands in all kinds of different things, and what you'll learn as we do this webinar and as you listen to this webinar, I'm not real big on reading bullet points. I figure everybody can read. I may hit a few highlights every once in a while, but here are some of the different vertical markets that we are involved in. Hopefully one of these hits you as well. We really have 2 main disciplines to our company. One we call our water resources market. That includes In-Situ, which is the maker of the Smart Troll that you're going to be seeing today. Teledyne ISCO, Teledyne RDI for acoustic Doppler current profilers. If you were looking for environmental software to take all that data that you've collected and bring it into one single spot and try to make sense of it, 7.0 makes a great product called DataSite. And we do systems integrations as well. So we'll use Campbell data loggers, we'll use various equipment, we can do telemetry. Really, any type of an application that you have on the environmental side, we would hope that you would call us first, and if we can't help you, we'll certainly put you in touch with someone who can. The other side, our other kind of main discipline is GPS GIS. We work with Trimble, which is probably the largest GPS company in the world, and we're one of their largest sellers of mapping grade equipment. We're also a gold partner with Esri on the GIS side of things. If you're looking for tough, rugged, handheld tablets for the field, we work with Mobile Demand. They make a couple of great devices, the T1200, the T7200. And that's what a lot of people are looking for right now. Those are full Windows-based operating systems, not just the Windows Lite that we have on most of the GPS devices. And most of those are IP67 rated as well. So one of the things we're going to do during our time here on the webinar, for you folks that are actually watching the recording, you can probably skip by this, but for you folks that are live, I'm going to have 2 questions for you today. And our first poll question before we actually start getting into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to do today is, what are you currently using to collect water quality data? So you folks that are on the line, if you'll take about 15-20 seconds to answer this, we'll show the results here in just a couple of minutes. And again, folks that are listening to the recording, if you want, you can certainly skip by this part. Fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Looks like we have 100% participation in our poll today. So let's go ahead and we'll share the results with you. Well, this is actually pretty good news. It looks like the majority of folks on the line are actually using an In-Situ probe, potentially a 9000 or 9500. You know, but we understand there's a tremendous amount of competition when it comes to water quality sondes. So it's not surprising that YSI and Hydrolab also have a little bit of a grip there on the poll as well. We'll have one more for you towards the end of the webinar, but this type of information really helps us understand our customers and what they're using. So we'll keep an eye on that for a little bit later on. So let's talk about what you guys are here to see and listen to about today, and that is the Smart Troll water quality sonde. It really is unlike anything that's on the market right now. When you think of a water quality sonde or a water quality meter, obviously you've got the probe on one end, but what are you generally holding in your hand? You have a very large, bulky handheld that's attached to the sonde that uses a proprietary software and doesn't allow you to do anything other than collect that data, get back to the office, download it onto your computer, and from there try to make heads or tails of it. With the SmartTroll, we've really turned that on its head. Now instead of having to hold that big, bulky handheld, again, and there's a myriad of different types of them, you can use your iPhone, you can use your iPad, you can use an iPad Touch to collect that data in the field via Bluetooth. The other really cool thing about this sonde is it's almost a mini version of the In-Situ Troll 9500, if you've ever seen that. So this probe is designed for spot checking, water profiling in lakes, low flow sampling. This isn't something that you're going to set out there and collect data for weeks and weeks. We've got a solution for that, but this is more along the lines of doing some of that baseline spot checking that so many people do. So what you see on the left there is an actual screenshot of what the software looks like. I'll run you through the software. It's very, very simple. And it's very easy to then take that data, send it up to iTunes, email it to yourself, lots of different things that you can do with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at a kind of a close-up of the sonde itself. You've got optical DO, what we call a Fastcap. It lasts a very long time. It's very easy to change out. You've got your PHORP combo. You've got conductivity. And then you've also got level as well. So you can do salinity. You can do a specific conductivity, actual conductivity. There are a lot of different offshoots as a result of these parameters that we're talking about. In terms of the specifics of each electrode, again, I'm not going to read through this. If In-Situ is known for anything, it's pressure. So you know that the pressure sensor is going to be head and shoulders above anything that's out there right now. And they've got one of the few RDO sensors that's been approved by the EPA. So there's something else in terms of peace of mind. That Fastcap is going to last you for almost a year and a half before it has to be changed out. And the nice thing is the software will tell you when it's time to change that out. So I'll leave this slide up for just another second or two so you can see what the other electrodes are about. We talked a little bit about that RDO Fastcap. Really quick response, which of course if you're doing profiling or spot checking, that's very important. You don't want to have to wait for that thing to calibrate. A long shelf life, and again, as I mentioned, it's EPA approved. In terms of the operating system, this is what it looks like on your iPad, your iPhone, or your iTouch, and this is really where the rubber hits the road. This is what makes this thing completely different than anything else that you've probably used. In the demo that I'm going to show you today, I'm actually using an iPad. So imagine being able to go out into the field with an iPad. The data looks big and bright, and quite frankly, you look pretty cool out there too. Or you can use your iPhone. In terms of which iPhones, anything 4S and after. So if you've got an iPhone 4, that's not going to work. You can use an iPad mini, an iPad Touch, or an iPhone 4S or later. The sonde is about $2,900, which puts it really on the low end of what you would expect to see price-wise for that many parameters and that many features. And then you go to the iTunes store and you purchase the In-Situ app for $99. I know most of the apps on the iTunes store are 99 cents, so don't be thrown off. This one is actually $99. In terms of what if I want to rent, what if I want multiple users, it's my understanding with the software up to 5 users on a single license. And then if you're going to rent and you have lots and lots of different users, that's something that we can work out with you. So how do you power this thing and how long does it last? The great thing about this is, again, you don't have a hardwired connection to your phone. This is all being taken care of via Bluetooth. So in most cases, you've got a Bluetooth distance of about 30 feet, which means you don't even have to be right next to the probe when you're doing your measurements. Most people will be, if you're going to put this in a bucket or down a well or in a river or a stream, you're going to have it in your hands, but you don't necessarily have to do that. It's wireless. It's got a battery indicator, and we're just talking about 4 AA's here to power this thing for up to 80 continuous hours. So obviously, if you're turning it on and off, you're going to get much longer life out of that, but you'll always know your battery strength. It's always good, kind of best practice, just always take extra batteries out there with you. And the other cool thing that you see on the bottom of this slide is it's got a connector that only happens to go in one way. So there's really no way to screw this thing up. You plug it in, line it up, twist it on, and it's ready to go. In terms of data management, again, this is clearly an advantage that a system like this would have. You're collecting your data in the field in real time, and once you're done with that data, you can email it to yourself. You can send it to iTunes. You can email it to somebody else. If you have the iCloud service from Apple, you can send it up there so that all kinds of people can look at it, and you don't have to wait to get back to your office to do this. Now, I'm sure that with some of the other SONs out there, there are ways to work through getting that data back to the office without having to go in and do a physical connection, but it's timely. You probably need a bunch of extra stuff that you have to purchase to get all that lined up. This is as simple as emailing with your phone. Nothing else like it on the market right now. If you're doing low-flow sampling, this is perfect, again, for low-flow sampling because you're not carrying around a bulky handheld. You don't have a great big long cable that you have to use. There's a kit specifically for low-flow sampling. I'll just very briefly touch on the low-flow sampling in the software, but it's baked right into the software. I think it's an additional $49 to get the low-flow side of things on the software. So if you're not doing low-flow sampling, you don't have to incur that extra cost. Obviously, you can rent these things as well. So let's say you've got a 2-week project and you don't want to invest in purchasing. You can rent these as well for about $300 a week. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the In-Situ app for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly kind of hop out of my demo here. I'm going to pull up a piece of software I have called Reflector. And we'll get this going for you here. Let's see here. I'll see if I can get this set up. Maybe I'm missing something here on my iPad here. There we go. Sorry about that. So now I'm on my iPad. So I've got in front of me a great big beautiful screen that I'm looking at. I've got an iPad mini, so I'm not using the Retina, but from what I understand, Apple's got something coming out today or tomorrow where the Mini will also have the Retina display. So what you are seeing is my iPad mini in real time. So I'm going to go to the In-Situ app, and I'm going to connect to my handheld. So what's happening right now? I'm out in the field, and I've turned on my iPad. I've got my app open. Well, it's really cool because the first thing this thing notices is there's no Bluetooth connection because I haven't turned on the button on my probe. So as I do that, what you'll see now is it's connecting at the bottom of the screen. And the first thing that's going to pop up are all the different parameters that I'm able to read in real time. So there you go. I've got my temperature, my depth. Right now I don't have my sonde in any type of water. So that's why you're seeing the zero reading. I've got actual conductivity, barometric, pH. So I've got all these parameters at my fingertip. It's very easy to set up a new site. If you look towards the bottom, there's really only 5 additional buttons here that you're playing with. So here are the different sites that I've already got set up, and it's very easy to set up a new site. And then anytime I go back to the home screen, I'm going to get that real-time window popping right back up. If I want to do calibrations, it's very easy to go in and do my calibrations as well. If I wanted to do an RDO sensor, I'd simply tap on RDO, do my calibrations in my quick calc solution, and I'm ready to go. It's very simple. This is not designed to be complicated. This is designed for you to literally hand to a field tech or an intern or anybody else to go out and collect this data in the field without a huge learning curve. So if I'm doing profiling, if I'm doing spot checking, how hard is it to record that data and put it on the iPad, iPhone, or iTouch? In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see record. That's all I did. Every 10 seconds, it's going to take a new reading. I've been talking to In-Situ about getting this to basically to every time you tap that, it takes a reading, which would be great for lake profiling and things like that, and they're working on that. But right now, it just basically takes a reading every 10 seconds. So once I've taken as many readings as I need to take, I hit stop. And then if I want to see my data, I just go back to what I called my demo site. And these are the readings that I've just taken today. Pretty simple stuff. There's all my different values. And let's say I'm looking at this. I see something I don't like. I see something that is of concern to me in this specific reading. Remember, I'm in a single reading right now. I can email that simply by tapping on the email button in the lower right-hand corner. It's very, very easy to set up. It's very, very easy to train somebody on this. And that's really all there is to it. Obviously, there are a few different parameters. There are different things within the parameters that you can control a little bit. If you've got a low-flow application, you can simply go to the iTunes store, and for $29.99, you can purchase that as well. Now, I would love to tell you that there are a bunch of things on here that you can go into and change and manipulate, but that's really it. It's designed to be extremely simple so that you don't have to have a frequently asked question page that's 37 pages long. When I press the button that has what looks like a little piece of paper on there, it shows me the version I'm using, how much battery is remaining. It even shows me how many more days my optical DO is good for. If I need to get a hold of tech support, you can go right to the web and go to tech support. So all of this is set up to really be helpful in the field. There is nothing more frustrating in the field than having to sit there in the middle of the field when it's raining and not being able to get any tech support. Obviously, In-Situ also has an 800 number, but this is really, really good in terms of just giving you a really quick overview of what might be happening. Obviously, you've got to have internet access to email the file. You've got to have internet access to talk to folks in terms of the tech support, but it's really pretty cool. So I'm going to get out of the demo at this point. I'm going to get back into my presentation. And I've got one more poll question for you, and then we're just about ready to get wrapped up here, and I can answer some questions for you as well. Our last poll question is, which feature of the ones I just showed you did you like the best? We did talk about the price. It's under $3,000, so it's got a great price point. So if I could get everybody to answer this question for me, we're just about ready to wrap things up, and then I can open things up for questions. Waiting on just a couple more people. Fantastic. So obviously this is no surprise when we've done other webinars. This is what I've seen from people as well. It's that smartphone capability. Nothing else like it on the market right now. And it's simple and it's elegant and it gets the job done. It's not designed to be super complicated. You know, I suppose I could have done that demo and found something to keep myself occupied for another 10 minutes to make that demo, you know, much more complicated than it needed to be. I wanted to hit the high points, and really by hitting the high points, I hit just about every point. So thank everybody for your time this morning. We're just about set to let you roll unless you have any questions. In terms of contact information, if you're on the West Coast, California, Alaska, Oregon, Washington, consider me your primary contact. Again, my name is Sean Minton. The Mountain States, my coworker Steve Comby. And if for some reason you're watching this webinar from anywhere across the United States, we can cover any state. You can call our corporate office, or you can, you know, if you don't know who to call, you can call my number or you can email me as well. So that said, if you don't have any questions, you are more than welcome to hang up right now and kind of get on with your busy day. If you're listening to the recording, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording for you folks that are watching this webinar via the recording on our website. We thank you for that. And again, for you folks that are listening to this recording pre-recorded, the contact information has already been up there. So we thank you folks for